guys, I'm back with my second video in my Fall Smokey Eye series that I am doing this fall. And you guys requested a green and purple look next, so I think I will be doing two separate videos on those. But let's begin with this taupe one. To start off, I'm using my Josie Maran 100% pure argan oil in light, which you know I've been loving lately, and just applying that all over my face to prep my skin. For the face, I decided to mix two separate foundations, the L'Oreal True Match Lumi and my MAC Studio Fix Fluid. And I decided to use both of these because I really like the luminosity of the L'Oreal True Match, but I also like how full coverage my MAC is, but I just wanted to sheer it out a little bit, and the L'Oreal one is a lot more sheer in terms of coverage. For my brows, I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Brunette, and I'm just using the spoolie to comb through my brows and then using the other end with the product to fill them in. As you can see, I don't go all the way in with my pencil. Instead, I grab a MAC 266 brush and just push the product forward so that the fronts of my brows are a lot more natural and less harsh. Now do the same thing with your other brow and go in with a brow gel. I'm using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel and just brushing through my brows to set them in place. For primer, I'm using this one by NARS, and I don't find eye primers work all that differently for me. Personally, I have dry eyelids, so anything pretty much works. But if you have oily eyelids, I really suggest the one by NARS because it keeps everything intact so well. And on top of that, I just applied the Color Tattoo by Maybelline in Tough as Taupe, and just spreading that around with a Sigma brush, and this is equivalent to the MAC 217. I forget the number of it exactly, but you don't have to be precise, just put that on your lid. And this is my dark palette by MAC, my smoky shadows, and I'm just using Satin Taupe and applying that to my lid as well, and you want to keep it underneath the crease and just apply that and pack it all on. For my crease shade, I decided to use MAC Soba eyeshadow, and this is just a really pretty kind of golden brown shade with a bit of a shimmer in it, but it's really nice in the crease and it blends out beautifully, as you can see. And I'm just dragging that up a little bit more than I typically do and kind of putting it on an angle up towards the front part of my brow. I can't really describe it, but you can see I'm kind of pushing it up towards my brow bone, but near the front, and just bringing it back on an angle, and you can see that it's kind of shaped the way my eyebrow is shaped on that kind of arch. And to deepen the crease, I'm just using MAC Brun and just putting that in my outer corner lightly and just kind of buffing that in there just to give it some depth and dimension. And if you want to go darker, you can apply some black, and I think it's a great option to put some black in just because you really want to smoke it out. But this is a good option if you want to leave it like this, just with the brown to deepen it, and it just really blends in beautifully. Now I'm going in with that carbon. Like I said, I was going to use a black and a pencil brush and just applying that lightly in the outer corner. You don't want too much because you don't want to get rid of that brown shade. You want a nice gradient in that outer corner. Now with that same black shadow, you're just going to want to take a smudge brush and smudge that all along your upper lash line and try and get it really close to the lashes. You don't want dramatic eyeliner or anything like that. You just kind of want to deepen up that part and make your lashes look extra big when you apply mascara or falsies. And now to highlight, I'm using MAC Vanilla Pigment, and I have a great website. I'm not making any money off saying this. This is just where I buy my pigments, but you can buy samples. They're authentic. I love them, and you don't have to buy one of those big jars that you'll never ever use in your lifetime. So I highly recommend samples, and I will leave that link down below. For lashes, I'm using these beautiful ones by House of Lashes, and they're the Tigress ones. And I know a lot of girls have been sent these by this company, but I was not sent these. I bought these with my own money because I saw them and I love them. So I did buy a few different kinds. These ones are really easy to apply. They're not the premium ones. If you buy the premium ones, which are the Pixie Luxe and the Noir Fairy, they're a lot harder to put on because they have a really stiff band. They're like basically a double stacked lash, but these ones are really easy to apply, and they're much cheaper. And I like that these outer corners are a little bit darker and much more full, which I like in an eyelash. So I really like these ones. For my under eye, I'm just applying a little bit of a highlight, and I'm using MAC Light Boost Prep and Prime Pen, and just applying that in with my ring finger and just gently pushing that product around and blending it in. For concealer, I'm just using this one by Makeup Forever, and I don't even think they make it anymore, so I'm not going to even bother putting the name of it. It was their lift concealer. It's shade number 3, but I couldn't find it on Sephora. Maybe they still sell it on their website, but I didn't even bother checking. So just placing that underneath my eye to give a nice bright lifting effect to my under eye. And I don't really use this concealer that often, but it is a nice option. It's very light and sheer, so if you don't have too much problem with under eye baggage, then definitely a concealer for you. And to set this, I'm just going to use my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder as per usual. And to line my waterline, I'm using my Stila Kajal eyeliner in Onyx. I forgot how much I freaking love this pencil. It is so creamy and dark, and you barely need to apply any pressure for it to come onto your waterline. It is so amazing. You can just see how creamy and dark this is, and it does move around, so you're going to want to use a powder to kind of set it. But if you're looking for something super dark and smudgeable, this is the thing for you. And I'm just taking that smudge brush and going back in with Satin Taupe and just smudging out that black eyeliner to make it really nice and smoky underneath my eye. And still using that pencil brush, I'm just smoking it out even more, but there was no product on that brush, just whatever was left from that carbon. And then with an angle brush, I just went into the outer corners and put some carbon just to deepen up just the very outer corner. For my lower lashes, I'm just applying some mascara and just a little bit to make them stand out a bit more. And I really like the Million Lashes for my lower lashes. I absolutely hate this mascara in general, but it's good for lower lashes. And for my inner corner, I'm just reapplying that vanilla pigment because I found I lost some of the intensity when I went in with all my other products. So I'm just reapplying that in my inner corner. And here is what the completed eyes look like, and I think the lashes really do make this look. I absolutely love these lashes. I highly recommend them. I didn't even bother putting on any mascara to my upper lashes just because these really speak volumes for themselves. And you can get it pretty close to your lash line. It is possible if you're not wearing eyeliner like I am. So just really got to concentrate on getting it close to those lashes so it doesn't look so unnatural. And for my facial concealer, I'm just using the Studio Finish Concealer by MAC. To set everything, I'm just using my NARS Crystal Translucent Pressed Powder all over my face. I know some people just use this under their eyes, but with my dry skin, this is perfect for an all-over setting powder. And for my contour and bronzer, I am just using NARS Laguna and just using that with a MAC 109 brush, which is one of my favorites to apply contour with. And just doing it in the hollows of my cheeks, temples, forehead, you know the drill. And then for blush, I am using NARS Lovejoy, and this is one of my favorite blushes for the cooler months like fall and winter. So this is just perfect, I think, for this look, and I'm just applying it lightly to my cheeks. And for my highlight, I'm using the BALM's Lumi-Manizer, and this is just a great, really golden highlight, and I'm just using a MAC fan brush to apply this as well. For my lips, I'm using MAC Subculture Lip Pencil, and this is just a really nice nudie pink shade that's great for lining your lips. I use it for multiple different shades of lipsticks, nudes, pinks, whatever. And then using MAC Hue, you can see that the bottom of my lipstick had a bit of writing on it, but they do that for when it's a back to MAC. And for my lip gloss, I'm just using this Dior Lip Maximizer, I think it is. It was a sample. I think it's number 1 shade, but I absolutely love it. If you like a minty, plumping lip gloss, I highly recommend it. And after setting it with my favorite setting spray, which is the Urban Decay Chill, this is what the finished face and eyes look like. I absolutely love how this turned out, and I'm going to be wearing it so much this fall. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.